I want to share with you guys 3 things that have actually helped me lose weight faster. I have officially lost 4 pounds in 3 weeks, and this is the biggest change that I made. That sauce, you guys, is so good.
You can't choose, you just get them all.
Let's get fried cheesecake. One of my favorite mom hacks and just hacks in general.
Black pepper.
I am officially starting my refeed tomorrow. I have officially reached it's a Sunday. My hair's a mess right now, y'all, but I just had to show you one of my favorite mom hacks and just hacks in general is to prep dinner ahead of time. We're gonna be making potatoes with some salmon for dinner today. And I'm always just on the go with Kylo and just like preoccupied with him that when it comes dinner, I'm always just like, I dread it. But if you just pre-cut these, season them up, put them in a Ziploc bag and pop them in the freezer. When it comes to making dinner later, I'm gonna have them ready to go to pop in the air fryer.
I like you, Tiny Poopy.
What? You like poopy? So yeah, prep them ahead of time, put them in the freezer, and all I have to do later is pop this in the air fryer. So let's prep some potatoes for dinner. Thank you, sweetheart. Kylo cut these all by himself. What a great piece of potato you cut, sweetheart.
Yes!
So proud. Okay, babe. Chef. Some Lowry's. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Nice. We need a good amount of oil on these.
Black pepper.
Good job. We need a lot of onion powder, baby, because it gives it so much flavor.
It gives it so much flavor.
Oh, wow, it just gives it some good color and a tiny bit of flavor. See, good job. And this is gonna be flavorful. We'll have it with some salmon later for dinner. All right, sweetheart. Good job. Thanks for helping. Could you cut those other piece of potatoes?
Yeah.
Thanks, baby.
I got it.
And then my little trick for potatoes is to take a little bit of cornstarch or arrowroot starch. This is actually arrowroot starch, which is a little healthier than, but take it from me, do not put too much. If you put too much, it's going to taste weird. But if you just put a little bit and just enough, then it'll give it a nice crisp. So that's like the amount that you need. You do not want to put too much. Just the right amount makes your potatoes so nice and crispy. And that's it. I'll usually now just put it in a Ziploc bag, pop it in the freezer, because if you put it in the fridge, potatoes are one of those things where they just like turn color or oxidize, whatever you want to call it. Get this in a Ziploc bag. You can add whatever other veggies you want to this. This is like one of my favorite things to do, is to add veggies to the potatoes, because now you have a 2-in-1 situation. I don't need to make a separate side of veggies later. I have my veggie and my carb all in one. It's just so much easier. I like adding broccoli to this, sweet peppers, carrots is a good one. So many things just pair well with potatoes. A good tip when you do freeze it, try your best to lay it out flat. Sneak it in there. And we got dinner later prepped so that when it's dinner later, I won't be overstimulated. I won't be overwhelmed. Look how good these potatoes look, y'all. 350, 20 minutes, and it's the perfect amount of time. And the salmon is looking so good. So now that it's been cooking for 12 minutes, I'm just gonna broil it now to get it brown on top. You can try, yeah, put your hand out.
A worm?
Mud is your favorite? So breathtaking. I know. There's a little spider.
Okay, jumps.
I know. All right, you guys, I have got some exciting news. I have a big weight update to share with you guys. I'm beyond excited. Like, I'm so happy with the way my progress has been going. So I'm gonna give you guys a weight update shortly. But first, I wanna give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, because I have been obsessed with this Dreamy 7-in-1 hair styler. This just gives me salon quality hair at home, and you guys know me, I am the convenience queen. There's 7 different styling heads. You can do anything from like a smooth straight look, you can have a blowout look, you can have the bouncy curl look. It even comes with a flyaway attachment. It's also very lightweight to use. I've always hated how clunky and heavy typical styling tools are, and this one is very lightweight. It also comes in the most luxurious packaging. It's just a dream. You can just see the side-by-side comparison when I use the air wrap and then when I don't. You can get completely styled hair in just 15 minutes if you're going from wet to dry, or if your hair's already dry, you can get a quick styling in 5 minutes. It is so easy and fast to use. Also, it is a part of Amazon Prime Day fall deals, so you can get this for an even more affordable price than it already is. So it'll be 30% off. I mean, you are getting this luxurious, easier to use, better tool for about half the price than the other comparable brands. Especially for my mamas or my busy girlies out there that want to get a hair salon quality at home, fast, easy hair. Guess what, guys? I'm so excited because I have officially reached the 130s. Like, I can't even believe I am saying that. It felt so far out of reach at one point. You guys know that I was struggling and feeling so disappointed about my weight stalling. Like, my weight for July and August, I only lost 1 pound in July and 1 pound in August. It was actually ridiculous. And so it just felt like the 130s was so far out of reach. But I am officially, as of this morning, your girl is 139.6, I think it was. Mind blown. I am officially in the 130s. I'm so excited. So I had to pop on the camera and just like update y'all because I have switched a few things. So I want to share with you guys 3 things that have actually helped me lose weight faster now. And I'm also going to kind of discuss with you guys how I plan on handling my refeed because my family is coming in to visit from Canada in about 4 days. So I am going to start my refeed on September 20th, the Saturday that my sister's arriving. So Steph is flying in, and then Jessica and her fiance are doing a road trip. So they are driving to Tennessee. The drive from Toronto to Nashville is about 12.5 hours. And then with stops, you know, gas, food, all that, probably like 13.5, 14-ish. Actually, I think they can shave off an hour if they use the border that's closest to them. So anyways, it's gonna take them roughly like 13 hours-ish to come here, and they're just looking forward to having a little road trip. And I was like, do you, boo? Like, before you have kids, you and your boo just do a little solo road trip. I actually wish I did that before I had kids. I'm looking forward to actually doing a little road trip. I was telling my husband with Kylo. I think that'd be fun. But I do wish that before I had kids that I kind of like did that more, you know, just like traveled more and like went on road trips and all that. So I told my sister, I was like, you know what, girl, do you like have fun and do that before y'all have kids, if you have kids. Anyways, getting off track here. So I'm gonna start my refeed. Couple things I want to touch on. I feel like I'm all over the place here. So let me just recap what I want to touch on during this chit chat so that you guys can either skip to the part that you care about more or whatever. So first thing I'm gonna touch on is the 3 things that have helped me lose weight faster over the last month that I switched up in my routine. The second thing we're gonna recap is how I'm going to handle this refeed. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna actually do the refeed? How am I gonna handle my family being here and just us being around food more, going to restaurants, all that. And then 3, I am going to touch on the importance of a refeed and what I have been going through over the last month that really blew my mind hormonally and just was a good reminder that a refeed is very important. So first things first, let's go over the 3 things that have helped me lose weight faster in this month that I have switched. The first thing I started switching was I realized I had to really take a hard look and be like, Amy, how meticulous have you been at counting your calories? Because you guys know I have counted calories for years and I am kind of like what you want to call like an expert calorie counter. To be very honest with you guys, I can look at a plate of food and I can estimate how much calories are on it, and I'm right about 95% of the time, straight up, especially if it's a meal that I'm familiar with, right? If it's a new meal, like if it's something that I don't usually eat, like lamb, for example, I don't know. But if it's a meal I've made so many times, if it's like chicken or steak, like I can guess the calories, okay? And I'm very accurate. So I don't really technically use an app to track all the time. I use the Yazio app whenever I want to be super on with my calories on certain days, or I use the Yazio app to help me when I'm eating a new food that I am not used to and I want to want to check the calories. So I love the As You Up for that. But on a daily basis, I really don't like count to the T because I am so good at estimating. I can look at my matcha, I know it's 250. I can look at my dinner, I know that's 600. You know, I'm very good at it. But however, in the past like 2 months or so, I have been eating some newer meals that I wasn't used to. And I also started making a lot of smoothies. As you guys saw, I did a video about like 10 healthy smoothies that helped me lose weight, which was very accurate. Like I've been using those smoothies for years, but I kind of stopped drinking them and then I've picked them up over the last month. And because I got too confident with how good I am at estimating, I was drinking those smoothies and a lot of the times I was estimating they were like 150. And then when I did that video, I had to calculate the actual calories for them so that I had the proper nutrition facts on the screen. And when I went to go count the calories, like it was like 250, like 270, 180. It just showed me how off I was. So I was like, oh my God, Amy, you were drinking those smoothies and you were logging 150 in your head. Like I wasn't using an app at the time, but in my head, I was like, oh, it's 150. Meanwhile, I was actually having 250. So if you're doing that every day, at the end of the week, you're clocking an extra 800 to 1,000 calories uncounted. Yeah, you're not gonna really lose that much weight when you're miscalculating your calories. So that was a big eye opener for me. And I was like, okay, Amy, I think you need to be a little bit more accurate when guessing your calories for new recipes. I'm very accurate with like recipes I'm used to, but whenever it's a new recipe, it reminded me, check your calories, girl. You're not like a magical genius that can just look at something and know the calories when it's a new recipe. So that reminded me, if it's a new recipe, a new smoothie, count the calories before you drink it, just so you can accurately count. It's not that you can't drink it, you can. You'll just be able to know the accurate amount of calories that it has, right? And know how much room you have for the rest of the day. So that was a big like reminder and something that I learned. It also taught me to be more conservative when estimating my calories, okay? So what does that mean? If I am looking at a plate and I'm estimating that it's about 500, let's just estimate 550. That's the change I've been doing over the last month. I've been like, you know what? I think this is 500, but I'm gonna just count it as 550. That's what I've been doing. So I've just kind of been like overestimating a little bit, because that way when you over a little bit, chances are most of the time you're either gonna save yourself from uncounted calories or you're gonna overcount, which means you're actually gonna be under your calories a little bit for the day, which is always a positive thing, especially if you do a weekly cheat meal like I do, because you're always gonna kind of make up for it a little bit and it will even out at the end of the week. So those two things really helped a lot, kind of being very meticulous on counting my calories, more watching it exactly, and also being more conservative when I count my calories. And then I did start doing about 14 to 1500 calories. I think before I was eating 16, which I realized for my activity level, 16 was kind of a bit of a reach, honestly. I'm not like a gym girly that's in the gym 2 hours constantly. You know, I'm just not. You guys know I love my 10-minute at-home workouts and they just fit so well in my schedule as a mom. They help me so much mentally and they just fit me personally because I'm not a gym girly. I don't like being in the gym for an hour or 2 hours. I had to accept that about myself. So with that being said, that just means that I have a lower calorie amount that I can intake. You know what I mean? So I've been doing 14 to 1500 calories. So that was the first thing. Second thing I did that I feel like has changed the game for weight loss, y'all, sprints. Like I literally could stand on a mountaintop right now and scream it to the world. That's how like passionate I feel about this right now. Me and my husband have actually started picking up sprinting and oh my God, guys, the second I started sprinting again, it's like the scale just started going down. I'm telling you, when you sprint, you use almost every muscle in your entire body. You burn more calories in a shorter amount of time. Like your workout can only be like 5-10 minutes long and you just burned so much calories just because you just did a couple sprints. So what I have been doing is we've been actually sprinting uphill. We have this farm that has a hill near us and we literally have just been sprinting up that hill. I will run as fast as I can for a short amount of distance. It doesn't have to be long distance. It's literally a short distance. It's not far, but you just run as fast as you can for that short distance. And I've been doing about 6 to 10 sprints, just depending on the day and how I feel. And oh my God, it's like I just started watching the fat drip off my body because I would literally measure my waist. And you guys saw I lost like an inch off my waist last month. My waist is now 27.9. It was just 28.1 a week and a half ago. Mind blowing. Literally, like the fat has been melting off my body with this hack. The hack being sprints, by the way. But yeah, literally, like it's just been life-changing. It's revolutionary, honestly. You just burn a lot more calories when you are sprinting. So that has been a major game changer. I started adding that to my routine. Not to mention the dopamine you get from it. Like you just feel good afterwards. You feel productive, you feel energetic, you feel good. So I've actually started doing the sprints about 2 to 3 times a week now. So that's been amazing. And then the third thing that has helped me lose weight faster, I think, is you guys guys know that I was struggling a little bit with finding my perfect thyroid dose. I was at a 2.0. I don't know what my current TSH is after we increased our medication. We increased it to 150. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was on 115, I think, or 120. Yeah, 120, I think. And my TSH was still a 2. And y'all know I just don't feel my best at a 2. Like, I've always felt my best at a 1. Typically, most people feel best with their TSH at a 1. So we increased it to 150. And I have been feeling so much better, like so much better. So I just feel like this is my perfect dose, which I'm just like, thank you, okay? Because if you guys have been following this journey, you know it has taken me months of increasing my dose and finding different doses that work for me. I finally feel like this is the one. I have not checked my blood work yet. I plan on checking it first week of October, so I'll pop back in and update you guys. So I do think that having my thyroid in a better place really plays a part as well. So those 3 things right there have helped me lose weight so much faster in the last month. I went from 142 to 139 just in the matter of like 3 weeks. Whereas before, it took me a whole month to lose a pound. So I'm just feeling so good, y'all. So if you're on a calorie deficit, this is your sign to start sprinting. Like, literally get up and sprint as fast as you can, okay? It's gonna help. Watch, mark my words. Do it and come back in 2 weeks and let me know how it's been for you. So, second thing is how I'm gonna handle the refeed once my family comes in. So you guys know I have mentioned a refeed when you're in a calorie deficit is very important to do if you're a woman every 8 to 12 weeks. Now, I am clocking in at about almost 5 months here, so I am way overdue for a refeed, which kind of brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is how important it is to do a refeed. I've always known this, but I really learned that this month, and I'll tell you why. This month I have been struggling with my hormones so much, I can tell. I have actually for the last 2 months been experiencing, you know how you get PMS like the week before your period? I've been experiencing it the week of my ovulation as well. So lucky me, I've been getting PMS 2 weeks out of the month instead of just 1 week out of the month. So while I ovulate, you're supposed to be the happiest. I have been very irritable and very just like moody and not myself while ovulating this month and last month, and then the week before my period too. So I actually mentioned that to my sister, and she said to me, well, hasn't it been a while that you've been in a calorie deficit? And I was like, ding, 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 ding. Like, I know this already. I tell you guys all the time, when you're in a calorie deficit for too long as a woman, it will affect your hormones, okay? And you don't want your hormones to be affected. Once your hormones are affected, you're gonna feel tired, you're gonna feel irritable, and it'll actually affect your weight loss too. So there's just no point in being in a calorie deficit for too long. As much as you wanna stay in there and you wanna lose weight and reach your goal, it's actually counterproductive. You know, it's better to just do that refeed that you've been avoiding. The reason why I kind of avoided it was because I knew my family was coming in September. So I'm like, oh, that's like the perfect time to do a refeed because I can eat maintenance calories. But honestly, I should have done a refeed back in July. I really, really should have. I started my deficit at the end of April. July would have been the perfect time for a refeed. September would have been another refeed. It would have been way better for my hormones, especially for someone with hypothyroidism. So that just goes to show you guys, look at how it affected my cycle. I started getting irritable during ovulation because that's how much it will affect your hormones being in a deficit for too long. So this is a big reminder to you guys to don't stay in a deficit for too long as a woman. Just don't. It's not healthy for us, okay? So I am definitely due for a refeed and we'll be starting in 4 days. A refeed basically means that you eat your maintenance calories for the week and you're sort of just resetting your body, refeeding your body by eating those maintenance calories and not being in a deficit for a week, preferably 2 weeks, but I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I usually only do mine for a week, week and a half max. But yeah, there's 2 ways you can start off. You can either slowly increase your calories or you can just go straight to maintenance. Now, I usually go straight to maintenance because I'm like, I don't got time to waste. Like, that's just my opinion. That's just my personal preference. But when you do it that way, where you just go straight to maintenance, you will gain a little bit of water weight. Like, once I start eating 1900 calories on Saturday, that scale will go up a pound or 2 because of that instant water weight. But guess what? You're also gonna lose that water weight in just a few days. So it is just water weight. And I know that, so it doesn't bother me. But if you don't wanna have that water weight gain, then you can slowly increase your calories. So for example, right now, my deficit is 1400 calories. For a refeed, you could do the next day, you can do 1500 calories, then you can do 1600 calories, then 17, then 18, then 19, until you reach your maintenance. Once you're at your maintenance, then you would eat 1900 calories for the next 4 or 5 days. So that is what a slower refeed would be. That would usually take at least a week and a half to 2 weeks. The way that I do it is my deficit is 1400 calories and I'm just gonna go straight into maintenance and eat about 18 to 1900 calories for the next week. Then after that refeed, you just drop back into a deficit, and that is the perfect way to reset your body, reset your hormones, reset your metabolism, refeed your body and give your body what it needs to start at a deficit again. So mine's obviously a little different because we're gonna be going to a lot of restaurants, trying a lot of different foods, just going out and about. There's like a really pretty apple orchard. It's called Orchard or Orchard, whatever. We're gonna go apple picking. And this really cute place, I think it's in Nolansville, they sell apple cider slushies and they give you an apple cider donut on the straw. And I'm like, how cute. Like I definitely wanna try and go there. So we're gonna go there. So we're just gonna be around lots of different sweets and high calorie foods, right? So it can be very easy when you're doing that to, instead of eat maintenance, go over and eat like 2,600 calories, 3,000 calories. And now if you do that, you will gain weight. A lot of people, whenever they're going on vacations or they have a sort of a week like this where families visit them and you're going out and about a lot, you cannot treat it as a free-for-all. Take it from me. I have been there, done that, where I treat those situations as a free-for-all. And what happens is you will set yourself back and you'll gain at least 5 or 6 pounds and you will just set yourself back. And there's no point in that. That is called overindulging. And I just will absolutely not be overindulging. I find it very unnecessary. In the moment, sometimes when you overindulge, it can be so easy to want to, but you have to ask yourself, how will this make me feel? Like actually in a few days after I overindulge, how will I feel? And you'll end up feeling bloated. You'll have extra weight on you. You're not gonna feel good. It's not a good feeling, so it's just not worth it. So the way that I will handle it is the same way I handled it when my family visited in May. If you guys watched I did vlog it through that time, and I didn't gain any weight at the end of it. And the way that I did that was you basically pick and choose the days that you wanna splurge. You cannot splurge every single day because you will gain weight at the end of it. So the way that I like to handle when I'm going on vacation or when my family's here is pick 2 days out of that week. 2 days where you will splurge. And 2 days is very generous because honestly, if you're being strict, you could just say 1 day. But to me, I'm just like, you know what? It's a vacation. My family's coming to visit. I'll do 2 days, you know? And in those 2 days, it's not a free-for-all. Okay, you know what? Today's the day where I will say yes to 2 different meals that I really want, whether it be dessert or dinner, and just do 2 days of that. But all of the other 5 days, you stick to your deficit. Or in my case, because I'm doing a refeed, stick to my refeed. So what that requires is saying no sometimes. For example, when my family was here in May, I remember we were walking downtown and Kylo wanted ice cream, so my mom and Kylo got ice cream. It would be very easy in that moment to be like, oh, it's a vacation, I'll get ice cream. But I said no, I don't want ice cream right now because I would actually rather splurge on another meal, another day, because I know that there's something better than this that I would want to splurge on. So basically it requires you saying no sometimes and picking what you want to splurge on. You cannot splurge on everything. If that ice cream is what you want to splurge on, then let that be your pick. But what I'm trying to say is it cannot be yes, 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 yes to everything every single day. I said no to the ice cream because as much as I love ice cream, it's not my absolute favorite dessert. I knew that we were actually going to this place called Tiny Little Donuts, and I love those Tiny Little Donuts. They are, oh, they're so good, you guys. They're just the best, okay? They're the best. I knew we were going to go there another day during the week. So I knew that I wanted those Tiny Little Donuts to be my yes. So I picked that as my yes, and I picked the ice cream as my no. So what I'm trying to say basically is there's gotta be a good amount of no's before you can say yes to a couple things. Do you know what I mean? It's just about balance and picking your splurges. So that is how I plan on handling my refeed. Now, with that being said, because I do think I'm gonna have 2 days where I splurge, and that's not really a typical refeed. A typical refeed is literally actually maintenance for a week, and I'm clearly gonna go over my calories 2 days out of that. I'm probably gonna do a maintenance of 1,800 instead of 19, so that I leave those extra calories as a little bit of wiggle room for my extra splurge day. Because what matters is your weekly average at the end of that week, okay? So with that being said is 1,900 times 7 equals, let me do the math right now. 1,900 times 7 equals 13,300. Now, I just told you guys I'm gonna be splurging 2 days. 1,900 times 5, but then the other days, if I eat about 2,500, look at that. That's 14,500. That's actually over my maintenance. So that's actually grounds for weight gain now, not maintenance. So to help things even out, I will probably do about 1,800. And then that way, once I do the 2 days of 2,500, it will be about 1,400 at the end of the week, which is only slightly above maintenance. So what I'm trying to say is it's your weekly average that matters. You could eat 1,900 for 5 days, but if you eat 4,000 those other 2 days, your weekly average will be above maintenance. So for me to be at maintenance for 1 week, I need to eat about 13,300 calories within that week. You can break that up into multiple different ways that you want to, as long as you are in maintenance at the end of those 7 days, and as long as it averages out to this number. So keep that in mind. Your daily amount doesn't matter as much as your weekly average. So that is why I'll probably eat about slightly under 19. I'll probably do 1800 just to make up for those extra 2 splurge days, because that will put me at roughly almost what my maintenance is pretty much. So yeah, another example of some no's and some yeses is, for example, when my family was here, we went out to breakfast for a few days. And when we went out to breakfast, I actually made the decision that, because breakfast is one of those meals, especially when you go to a breakfast place, you can easily rack up 1,000 calories, 1,500 calories, especially if you order pancakes, okay? It is so easy to splurge at a breakfast place. I made the decision that breakfast is actually one of my least favorite meals. Now, I love me a good chocolate chip pancake, but would I rather eat the tiny little donuts? Would I rather eat the cookie? Would I rather eat the ribs at Edley's? Yeah, I would. So that is what I want to splurge on. So when we went to breakfast, I made the decision to order the egg whites with the potatoes and a fruit cup. That was my no. I was like, not gonna splurge on this right now because it's not worth it for me. So all this to say, if you're going on vacation and you're on a deficit, or you're gonna do a refeed, whatever it is, you wanna stay on track with your fitness goals, there's gotta be some no's. It cannot just be all splurges. Y'all, you know what we need to stop doing? We need to stop sleeping on lean cuisine, okay? She's that girl. I was randomly scrolling on TikTok. Shout out to doom scrolling, sometimes it's helpful. And this girl was saying like, shout out to lean cuisine for carrying my calorie deficit. And I was like, hold up, I forgot that lean cuisine is actually that girl. But I will say, the one thing that I'm not crazy about is I do wish that their meals were higher protein. Now, I don't know if they have like a high protein line that they've done, but there's a new brand circulating out there, which I also found on TikTok, called Counter Meals, and their meals are very high protein. So I'm actually looking forward to trying those as well. I believe those are at Target. There's only a few Target locations that have released it though. Like, I think it's new. But anyways, this is your little reminder that if you're busy and you cannot meal prep, the meal prepping is done for you. If you just go to the grocery store and you go to the frozen section, like, I think frozen food gets like a bad rep. I think even from me, like in my mind, I've just like written off all frozen food because most of the time they're really high in calorie. They have like the worst macros, but if you're in a pinch and you cannot make something homemade, like this really comes through. This is basically meal prepping for your deficit done already for you. This one, for example, is 19 grams of protein for 290 calories. Again, I do wish it was higher protein, like in my opinion. So this is what it looks like. What I like to do, by the way, a good little trick is I like to put it in a glass bowl to avoid microwaving it in the plastic and getting like extra microplastics in there. But look at the small amount of chicken they put in there. Like in my opinion, they could have put more chicken and it would have been higher calories, but it would have been more protein. So that's the one thing with lean cuisine. I do notice they heavily prioritize low calorie, but they could have added like extra protein. Like we could have done with the extra chicken breast right here. But what I am doing is I am going to make this, and then I also have some of the real good chicken strips in there, which is almost done. I should pop this in the microwave. So I like to take it out of the plastic. Most of the time it'll come right out and you can just put this in your own bowl. But yeah, it's just such a good little hack for your calorie deficit. Also, I love it because your macros and calories are so accurate when they've already been counted for you on a package. You know what I mean? It makes it very easy to accurately count your calories. Yes, the ingredients are not perfect. Yes, there is typically a little bit higher sodium in these sort of meals, so it's not something you should rely on heavily. But I do think they're a great tool if you're having a busy week and you need some extra help with the meal prepping department. This is your girl right here. Skip the takeout because takeout has so many hidden calories and all the sodium and all the other ingredients. At least with this, the macros, the calories are all right here for you. So this is it if you're having a busy week. So by adding that real good chicken right here, that has added just about, I have to weigh it, but my rough estimate is that it's probably gonna be 3 ounces, maybe 4. So we're getting an extra like 18 to 24 grams of protein just by adding that, and it's only an extra 130 calories. You see what I did there? I just took a meal that was only 19 grams of protein, 290 calories, and I have now made it 420 calories for pretty much 40 grams of protein. Thank you, honey. And a little cilantro on top, and all of a sudden, I mean, this looks homemade, honey. Whew, this is hot, too hot to hold. Let me get my oven mitt. I need me some new oven mitts. But look, it looks homemade. Easily added another 15-ish grams of protein by adding that real good chicken. And there you go. Dinner sorted today. Guys, I have lost more weight. Like, I'm shooketh. I literally was just saying yesterday, oh, in an ideal world, I would hit 138 before my refeed. But I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Yo, why did I clock in this morning at 138.8? I have officially lost 4 pounds in 3 weeks, and this is the biggest change that I made, and it is sprints. I mean, I told y'all already, I don't need to say it again. If you're on a calorie deficit and you're not doing sprints, what are you doing with your life? Like, what are you doing with your life? I'm mind blown. But anyways, I just had to come update you guys. So I am officially starting my refeed tomorrow at 138.8 being my starting weight, unless I'm lower tomorrow, which I don't think, because I just did a nice workout just now. So I probably will have a pump. I don't think I'll lose more weight tomorrow morning. But anyways, starting my refeed off at 138.8, and I'm so excited. The man is on a mission.
Wait, Carlo doesn't need fire fryer. But it's strong. Oh, I did it last time.
I didn't try it. Jessica just made some French onion soup. Look how good that looks.
Something is missing because that would have thrown out the entire thing for me.
Thank you so much.
Nene, come on.
Oh my god. Everything to say here? What do you mean? Finally trying Raising Cane's. Oh god, it's so good. It's so
There's nothing like a chicken sandwich. But Jessica's right, they use the literal same chicken.
Are your sandwiches for your dog?
That sauce, you guys, is so good.
I wouldn't say there was garlic.
so
It just had toast.
Yeah, it's toasty and like buttery.
It's like there's something about it.
Okay, let's try the chicken fingers. I'm on my mukbang time.
I like the chicken.
Oh, this is fire, guys.
20 seconds
blink of
later.
an eye later.
One blink of an eye later. One chew later.
Guys, I couldn't decide between a flavor, so I just got 3, but I promise I'm not eating all 3. I'm gonna spread them out, and we're also sharing, just to clarify. Okay, this one's the Adams peanut butter. I can't remember exactly what it's called. The Hershey's chocolate, and then the cookie dough lover. Y'all, look how good are these. Oh my god, I cannot.
Guys, it's like, oh.
And Steph got the tiramisu.
Oh yeah, baby. When you can't choose,
When you can't
you just get them all.
you just get 4 cheesecakes. Because they don't want us.
Is it good?
Guys, I'm looking at the menu and I see this cannoli cake and I'm like, Steph, they have cannoli cake and she loves cannolis. And she's like, I'm not having that. And then 2 seconds later, she's like, we can share.
My straw for your watering.
Oh my god, look how good Steph's lasagna looks. Oh my god, guys. I got rosemary, parmesan fries,
Do you want the mushroom stuff?
steak, fettuccine.
You can put it on the side.
And lasagna, look how good that looks. All right, guys, let's recap my refeed. So it is now October 1st. I pretty much did my refeed from September 20th to September 27th. I think the first day back on my deficit was September 28th. So I've now been in a deficit for 3 days again, and I'm already back to my pre-refeed weight. I'm so happy. That refeed was very much needed. And let me tell you, I had a magical week. Not only did I have so much fun with my family, like literally it was so much fun, actually too much fun, because when they left, I was literally depressed for 2 days. I'm actually not even making a joke. I was full on depressed, you guys, for 2 days. Like it was so hard to say goodbye. I do remember feeling depressed for like a day or so after my family left in May when they came to visit, but this time I was depressed for like 2 to 3 days. Like it was bad. And I think it was worse because both of my sisters came this time to visit. So we just had a full on like sister trip. So all of the sister magical vibes were there. And then when they left, it was like, like the bubble just deflated and I was like, oh wait, I actually live in a different country than my family. Like the reality just like hit like a bulldozer, okay? I was so depressed for literally 2 to 3 days. But I do feel a lot better now that I'm into my routine. I do still feel a little off, I'm not gonna lie, but now that I'm back into like my routine, I do feel so much better. But yeah, I just had so much fun and it was really hard to say goodbye. Other than that, I also just felt great eating more calories. Like your hormones definitely need a good solid refeed because I was just feeling good. Even though it was like a week before my period, I just felt good. I didn't have like that much irritability. It just goes to show you my body definitely needed that refeed and I am feeling amazing after it. So I do want to point out this was definitely like a different refeed since my family was coming to visit and we were going out to eat a lot. I was eating way more takeout and like restaurant food and fast food and junk food than I normally would. I mean, Cheesecake Factory, cookies, Doritos, banana pudding from Edley's. Like this was not a normal refeed, y'all. Okay, this was like a full-on vacation. But this is a good opportunity for me to show you guys also how I would handle a vacation. Like I mentioned to you guys, my goal is to always say no to a lot of things and yes to some things. And I feel like that just creates a good balance. So my biggest no when my family was here to visit during my refeed was usually breakfast. You guys know that for breakfast, I love to have my protein matcha and maybe like something high protein like a boiled egg or turkey bacon, something like that. I stuck to that. I stuck to that exact routine. And why? Because that left me with so much more room to sort of use my calories for the other meals that I knew were already gonna be high, like the ribs I ate or Raising Cane's. You know what I mean? Like there had to be some no's. And so when my family was all eating breakfast together, I skipped out on it. I sat at the dinner table with them, but I skipped out on eating breakfast. And even when we went out to breakfast, you guys will see that I ordered a plate from the kids menu actually. That's like one of my favorite little hacks. And I didn't even eat all of that because I wanted to keep my breakfast under sort of 300 calories. So what I'm trying to say is you can't go all out. Like it can't be like, oh yay, we're going out to breakfast. Let's have chocolate chip pancakes and waffles and fried chicken and like 5 slices of pork bacon, and then also, you know, eat a lot of calories at dinner too. There has to be some no's and some sacrifices. So that was sort of my sacrifice. I stuck to my usual high protein, simple breakfast, like my protein matcha and something high protein. So I stuck to that and that really helped me a lot. So with that being said, since this is a different type of refeed, my family was here, I knew I was gonna go over maintenance some days. So typically on a refeed, I would stick to maintenance calories, 18 to 1900. But like I said, I knew I was gonna go over some days because I wanted to splurge and have fun with my family. So I recorded my calories at the end of the day for every day of my refeed. And I also weighed myself almost every single morning of my refeed because I thought that'd be interesting to see how much my weight spiked or went down when I ate more versus less. So I thought that'd be interesting. So day 1, I weighed in at 138.8 and I ate 1700 calories that day. So slightly under maintenance because I knew that I wanted to sort of save my calories for some of the other days. Day 2, I weighed in at 140.2. Look how much my weight spiked. I went up almost 2 pounds just by eating 1700 calories. Did I gain almost 2 pounds of fat overnight by eating 300 calories? Absolutely not. That's not even scientifically possible to gain fat off of 300 calories. You need 3,500 calories to gain 1 pound of fat. So that's not even scientifically possible. But because of that little increase of calories, your body will hold on to a lot of water weight. So for day 2, I ate 2,500 calories. So definitely was way over my maintenance, but that was the day my sister arrived and we ordered Martin's. I actually didn't get a video of it, but yeah. So splurged a little that day. Day 3, I weighed in at 141.2. Interesting how much more calories I ate between day 2 and day 3, and my weight only went up by 1 pound. But yet the first day I ate only 300 calories more and my weight went up by almost 2 pounds. So this just goes to show you, y'all, like this is literally just proving to you the scale is the scale. It's not really telling you the full picture. You know what I mean? It's so much more than just pounds, but this is interesting. So that day 3, I ate 1700 calories. We sort of had like an at-home chill barbecue pool day. We barbecued at home and I thought, you know what, this is a good opportunity since we're eating at home. This would be a good day for me to kind of go under my calories a little bit, under maintenance, so that I can sort of save up for the other days because I knew I have some more splurge days coming up. So I only ate 1700 calories day 3. Day 4, I weighed in at 140.6 pounds. And that day I ate 2,900 calories. Your girl went a little overboard. So that was definitely a full-blown like splurge day, okay? I can't even remember what we did that day, y'all. I'll put some B-roll here, but yeah, definitely splurged this day. And to be honest with you, I think I told you guys my rule was that I was only gonna splurge 2 days, but I think I splurged 3, maybe 4 days. Oopsies. It honestly was because my family was here. On a normal basis, my refeed would be maintenance calories and just splurge 1 day. I've done it before. But yeah, your girl was just having so much fun with her sisters here. We tried so much good new food. So day 5, I weighed in at 141.2. 142. So I only gained just about half a pound. So the scale only went up about half a pound after eating almost 3,000 calories. Wild. And that day, on day 5, I ate 2,600 calories. Another splurge day. Sue me, arrest me, okay? Again, I don't want to set it a bad example and say that this is a normal refeed. Like usually on refeeds, this is not an excuse to splurge and go over your maintenance calories. That's not. This is just special circumstances because my family was here. Day 6, I actually forgot to weigh myself that morning, but I did eat 1,800 calories because I wanted to go slightly under maintenance for this day to sort of, you know, make up or kind of balance things out for the other splurge days. And then day 7, I weighed in at 141.2 and I ate 2,600 calories. Sue me. So day 8, this was September 27th, I weighed in at 142.2 and I ate about 2,000 calories that day. So just right around maintenance. I think my maintenance is 19, so that's just right around maintenance. So I talked a little bit, I think, about weekly average and how it matters way more than your daily calories. So I'm gonna do 8 days since my refeed was 8 days and not 7. Since my maintenance is about 1,900, if you times that by 8, you're gonna get 15,200 calories. So my maintenance calories is usually 15,200 for 8 days. Okay, that's 19 times 8. If you look at everything that I ate and add it together during my refeed, I ate a total of 17,800 calories. So yes, that is over maintenance. However, you need to eat a surplus of 3,500 calories to gain a pound. I only ate a surplus of 2,600, which of course is not ideal. I'm not promoting that. Our refeed is supposed to be maintenance, but these were special circumstances. A vacation, should you call it. Let's say you go on a vacation to Fiji. Okay, you're going to Mexico. This is a good example of that sort of circumstance where you splurge some days and don't other days. I wasn't even fully in a surplus. So again, to gain a pound of fat, you need to eat 3,500 calories over maintenance. I only ate 2,500 calories over maintenance. And as you guys can see, I weighed myself this morning and I am pretty much back down to my pre-refeed weight. I think I'm 0.2 pounds off. That just goes to show you right there that it is your weekly average that matters. So yes, even though I went over some days, 2,900, 2,600 calories, I had a good amount of days where I balanced it out and ate slightly under maintenance calories. So overall, it is what your weekly average that matters. So you can enjoy your refeed however you want. If you want to have some days in your refeed week where you eat 2,500 calories, slightly even like over your maintenance, then just go slightly under for the other days and see what your total is for the entire week. And that's what matters the most. Overall, I had an amazing refeed. Your girl feels good. And honestly, I'm so happy that I am back to my pre-refeed weight and back to losing this weight. Like my goal, now that I've added sprints into my routine and I'm losing weight way faster, guys, my goal, okay, right now, I'm trying to lose another 4 pounds in the next 3 weeks. Like that's my goal. Okay. And the way that I'm gonna hit that is to be very meticulous with my calories. Biggest thing I realized, if you are a short girl like me and you're 5'1", okay, our body just burns less at a baseline metabolically than people at an average height. So you have to burn more calories. And the way to do that, sprints. Like that's just helped me so much, especially as a busy mom. I don't want to be in the gym 2 hours a week, 2 hours a session. If I can do some sprints and get it done in 5-10 minutes and I'm burning that much more calories, that's having me lose 4 pounds in 3 weeks, like sign me up, okay? Sign me up for life. So yeah, thank you guys for following along on my journey and I'm excited to keep vlogging and sharing everything with you guys. Mwah.